Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to MQC Corporate Edition. Ryan booked us out a 30-person boardroom. We hired a calligrapher to put our little name of the show on the board, and we even got the used hand-me-down microphones for this one, so it should be a good episode.
Yeah, welcome to Emerson's fancy boardroom.
All right, we'll just hop right into it. There's a decent amount to cover. We did miss one scheduled show, but we're going to get through all the stuff that we wanted to.
If we want to hop right in, we can start with D1 relegation. That was a few weeks ago. I don't know if it's officially like relegation, but kind of like the lower two teams in the standings play each other. It was Brown Brandeis.
Yes.
Let's hop in.
Not a big surprise.
Yeah.
Brandeis ended up winning both games by the end fairly comfortably, which means Brown will be down in D2 next year. It was about how I expected it to go. Brandeis in the first game kind of put on pedal to the gas, took Brown down pretty easily. I heard that they might have played a little bit more of their depth the second game, which may be why the score was a little closer at the beginning. But out of all the teams in D1 this year, I think Brown was slightly below the rest.
Yeah, I was there reffing. Beautiful facility at Brown, by the way, because they had like the indoor space set up. But yeah, Brandeis looked in control for the entire games, both games. Definitely had the pedal to the metal in the first one, because the score was a lot more lopsided. In the second game, I thought Brown looked a lot better. Their offense looked more crisp. I can't remember if Brandeis went deeper into their depth. In the second game, but even if they did, they still won pretty comfortably. 2 catches also from Brandeis, so Karsten wasn't able to catch it all. Barely even able to get a look. I don't even think he got like one chance to catch a snitch. So pretty dominant performance.
Testament to Brandeis's beaters,
definitely.
Especially when they're putting their top 2 in there for SOP.
Yeah, not much to say. I know it was a couple weeks ago, but we wanted to start with it.
Excited to see Brandeis at Nationals.
Definitely.
They're looking good. Brown will be very competitive in D2. Well, I think both of the teams kind of are where they should be at this point.
Yeah, and I don't think Brown is down and out because Carson, was he a sophomore?
Yeah, Carson,
so,
sophomore, junior, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that team is pretty young. I don't know who they're graduating, but I don't think Brown will like suffer. And I mean, they went down to D2 like last year. They were in D2 and they came right back up. So I don't think they're gonna struggle. I mean, they're gonna play pretty well and they'll rebuild and they'll be fine.
Yeah, they're not losing a Will Richardson and Tommy Flathers this year. They're not like graduating their top end talent.
Right.
So I expect to see them a lot better next year.
Okay.
All right.
If we want to look ahead to D2 champs this weekend, April 4th, got me in action against Emerson. Will play Middlebury in Vermont. Shout out Vermont.
All right. So I assume it's Emerson and Middlebury, and the winner moves on to Vermont?
No, it's just going to be a round robin. So each team is playing once against each other. I think there's some like D1, D2 like shuffling happening in like the upper, not like upper, but like I don't know if there will be a D1, D2 next year. I think because Emerson like played every D1 team. So like I don't know if the D1, D2 kind of brackets are even necessary in the MQC.
And we will get on to that either later this episode or in a different episode. Because I think that's really interesting and it's something we should probably delve in further.
Definitely. But for now, we want to look ahead. Do you have anything?
This weekend. If every team brings their full roster, I think UVM's probably got the edge. I think Emerson's got a chance. Emerson has all this top end talent, so any one game can go any which way. I think Middlebury's pretty much out of it. Unless Middlebury's gotten someone who I don't know about, or if someone has really improved since regionals, they're just not at the same level as the other 2 teams.
I would happen to agree. I think what we saw at regionals was Middlebury kind of wasn't too competitive in any of the games they played. Unfortunately, I think that might happen this weekend. And I do think Vermont they're clicking. They looked really good at regionals, especially against D1 teams. And if you saw the pools come out yesterday for nationals, they're playing D1.
They are playing D1.
I good for them for like believing in themselves. And I think if you say as a team like we're having a meeting and saying, hey, do we want to be in D1? They must. Yeah. They gotta have some confidence. They think they can actually put up a bit of a fight too.
Yeah, big achievement to get to D1. Maybe in a future episode we'll talk about our opinions on how nationals look, at least planning wise, because few change ups this year, which is interesting. But they definitely have improved a lot. I think I've said it so many times, both on the podcast and off the podcast. I think Jack Fortin is such a good player. I think he really elevates that team to a level that's really actually competitive with a lot of other teams. And as long as he's there, they got a chance at winning games.
I agree.
What's your final take? Like, who wins what? What's this
I think
results?
Both Vermont and Emerson beat Middlebury, and I think when Emerson played Vermont in the fall, it was pretty close. So I'd expect a really close game. I think Vermont caught and ended up winning by a wider margin, and they kind of seemed in control of the entire game. But I think expect a focused Emerson. I think it'll be pretty close. I think we can pull out a win, but if we can't, I think it's just supposed to show how good the Vermont team is.
Yeah, I think we see one close game and two not close games. I think Emerson, Middlebury, Vermont, both games more than 50 point differential. Yeah. I see UVM and Emerson being very close. My prediction, UVM has to focus in the chaser game, so they don't get to put their great seeker into play there. Okay. They got to keep him in the chaser game. And I see UVM winning by 1 or 2 goals.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I think it's going to be a very close, grind out game.
Yeah.
And I don't think there will be a catch.
Okay.
That's bold prediction. We'll see who the snitch is.
Yeah, that's true.
The snitches, some of the people, maybe there'll be a catch.
Who it is, yeah.
All right. We kind of buried the lead a little bit, but big thing that just happened was D1 champs. So the way that worked, Harvard and RPI played a best of 3 series games first. Harvard took that 2-0, and then Harvard played BU in our finals for the MQC Cup, and BU took that 2-0 as well. Now, something that was discussed a lot, and I'm curious to see your opinion on it, because obviously coming from BU's team, we didn't want to give away our 1-seed advantage. We wanted to have the same format as always. Second and third teams play best of 3, and then the winner of that plays this 1 seed for best of 3. There were a couple other things proposed. One of the big ones was a round robin, where the top 3 teams play each other, and then the 2 teams who play best in those the round robin go to a best of 3 final. How do you feel about that? I know playing 4 games in a row is a lot for teams, especially.
Definitely.
It hurts the competitiveness of a team that's fresh versus a team that's played 2. Where do you stand with that?
Yeah, having played at the D2 champs my freshman year, where it was similar situation. It was Middlebury versus Tufts, and then the winner played Emerson. There's a big difference, having to play multiple games first and then playing a team that's fresh. And Emerson, we beat Middlebury, and Middlebury took out of the best of 3, Middlebury took the middle game. So it's not possible, but I do think having been at the Harvard RPI and Harvard BU games as a ref, I could definitely see Harvard BU had the gas going a bit. Everyone looked a little fresher, considering Harvard had just played multiple games before.
Yeah. Obviously, coming from BU, it would feel bad to go through the full season, play all these games, and then just have it be the top 3 teams, slate wipe clean, nothing for getting first. Yeah. It kind of lowers the intensity of we played Harvard at the end of last fall, and we were playing for the number 1 seed at that point, and you could just you could feel in that game that this was a really important game, and there's real stakes attached. Yeah. I don't really want to lose that. I think maybe what could happen is maybe we do D1 relegation and then the first set of D1 champs the same day. So you have RPI play Harvard, and then maybe between those 2 games you have the first game of Brandeis, and then you switch back and forth there. Just so you're not playing 4 games in a day, but you still keep a little bit of that 1 seed advantage. That's where my head's at with it. I see the merits of having that round robin, especially because we don't play that many games in the fall. Yeah. It's not there's a clear number 1 seed. I do like the feeling of those fall games really mattering, especially when you get late in the season and you have this game decides the number 1 seed for the spring. I like that kind of feeling in it.
That's interesting. But I also think going back to my point earlier about having a no D1, D2 divider, I think if I'm counting correctly, there are 8 teams in the entire MQC that played this year. So it could just go to a bracket system and have all the teams, maybe for next year, have all the teams play in one big bracket on one big day and see what happens. That's definitely possible. You can 8 teams is perfect.
Or even spread it out.
Or spread it out across multiple days. Because I don't know how well the 2 out of 3 series works with 3 teams or an odd number of teams. Because the top team, they earn that advantage, but then it's also like, that's a big advantage.
It's a big advantage. And who knows, if Rutgers is in the
That's
MQC
true, I
more
forgot about
officially
Rutgers.
next, to be fair, I think a lot of the MQC teams forget that Rutgers was here even unofficially, but if they're here more often, maybe we do like a play-in game between the bottom two teams, and then you seed it off of that. Maybe it's over like 2 weekends, so you play like the quarterfinals and semifinals in a day, and then you have like a best of 3 finals, or even a best of 5 is a lot of games, but best of 3, best of 5 finals to like really like give it some weight at the end. I kind of like that idea more, especially if we're at that like no D1, D2, which we might be. Heading towards.
I don't know about best of 5. I feel like quad ball lends itself to the best of 3 format. That's fair. But that's all I have to say, I think. If we want to hop into like the specifics of what happened like in the games, what we saw.
Absolutely.
We're going to start with RPI and Harvard series first.
Yeah, we were both there for both of those games. We both ref the second game. I'd say those were some like high energy games, especially the first one. I think the second one kind of got away from RPI. RPI didn't bring a lot of players, and you could kind of feel the tiredness, especially in the top players. Like Ben seemed like he was like kind of dragging it towards the end. If anyone happened to listen to that RPI Harvard Game 2 commentary, you can hear a lot of these insights from Ethan Dillon. He did not pull any punches, which I love from a commentation. Where we are with the sport right now, at least with the video quality, having someone like really keep you engaged in the game with the commentary, I think is just so huge.
Yeah, I agree.
Taking those swings, maybe getting some stuff wrong, maybe getting a little close to offending a few players on the field, but I think it makes it for a better audience viewing experience.
I think that's very fair. And then I agree. It was a really interesting game. I showed up, and I didn't ref the first game. I was at the table, but I watched the second game. But the first game was really fast paced, and I don't know if I was expecting that. Like there were I swear there were 10 goals in the first 4 minutes. Harvard just kept scoring and scoring. Seems like fast breaks, all the time. And then they got up to a comfortable lead, and then RPI scored a bunch of goals right back, and it got really close again, and then it was a close game for the rest of the match. Yeah,
very close game. That first one really could have gone either way.
Yeah, and I think RPI looked really. If they had a deeper bench, I definitely think that series is way closer, even maybe 3 games.
Absolutely.
Just everyone didn't till the season, they don't have that many players.
Yeah.
And I think some of them might have been sick or something too. It sounded like it.
I think RPI could have taken that first game. I don't think even if they take that first game, the momentum changes that much. I think Harvard still takes it in 3. Harvard is really good at that. You turtle up in defense, wait for them to pass the ball around, make a mistake, and then explode out towards the other offense. You see, Kevin had a lot of fast break goals. Bruce had a ton of fast break goals. They're good at passing the ball around when they do that, getting everyone downfield really quickly. And you can see it in the BU games as well, which I think we can transition into.
Definitely.
I think we got most of them RPI. But I think where Harvard really struggles, especially right now, is the half courts, really setting up, getting going from passing around with your feet set to an explosive play. The best player this weekend, at least, in terms of goal scoring, really threatening the hoops, was Bruce Lemonstone.
I agree, yeah.
He had a very, very good weekend. But you could tell the difference between when he was on a fast break or when he catches it completely open and gets a running start, and when he has to make that move from set feet with the keeper in front of him. And in fact, he didn't even usually make that move because he didn't trust himself to get past a keeper without that momentum, and he just passed it away. And I think that happened a lot, especially in the BU games, where we just sat on defense. We pressured their players enough that they had to feel uncomfortable, get the ball moving, and they just didn't have an answer to really win a one-on-one and go dunk on the hoops as much.
Yeah, and I'm curious, from what I saw, it seemed like their beaters and chasers weren't fully working together. I saw a lot of times where the beaters got them in both games either no dodgeball situations or dodgeball advantage, and they didn't fully take advantage of it. They had control, or they just won control, or there was an option to go faster because there were no dodgeballs in the play, and they maybe didn't score or took a long time to capitalize on those opportunities. And the best teams can do that very quickly. They'll make you pay if you lose your dodgeballs. And I didn't quite see that from Harvard every time it happened.
Yeah. I mean, with that, cohesion and like the flexibility. I feel like Harvard is always in a full press or a full back. You'll have Elisa like running between the chasers, like jumping up, and when she does that by herself, it's just not worth anything. And she'll tire herself out running between people. I know in the games, me and HB were just passing back and forth to each other. Elisa ran back and forth 3 or 4 times before she was just called back to the hoops. And it's just, yeah, you slowed us down for a bit, but what did you get out of it? And then if they're not hard pressing, if they don't have Kevin up at the halfway line with the beater there, they're like fully sunk into their defense until they clear the dodgeballs, and then they'll sprint a beater out. But even when they sprint that beater out, they're slow to have everyone else switch from that really defensive, like tight formation into a explode, press everybody thing. So it ended up being in the BU game a lot. They'd run one beater all the way out. They tap beat a chaser. That chaser would have thrown it deep to another chaser, and then we're just waiting for that chaser to tag back in and get back into play. And Harvard really hasn't gotten anything out of winning the beater game, getting the other team to no dodgeballs, getting a press going, and then it just resets over and over again. So I think Harvard really takes that next step. They need to like flow a little bit better. It's partially beater chaser cohesion. It's partially like just being more flexible, looking at the field.
Yeah, that's something to know. I think it'll clean up eventually, hopefully in time for nationals, because I'll be rooting for Harvard, of course. But
as long as we're not playing them.
Yeah, sure. But I feel like this team is a bit newer and younger, so
absolutely, yeah.
I think by next year they'll be pretty powerful for us anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know any of their seniors right now. Maybe David is done after this season. Other than that, I feel like most of their players are sophomores, juniors, going to be there next year. In terms of BU, I like to think of this as us finally, like, we lost all these players at the end of the fall. We had a pretty rough regionals where we were trying to figure things out. Those were our first games. This felt like what we'll see from BU at nationals more. I feel like we slowed our play down a little bit. We got the ball to more people, and we like actually learned how to play, missing these people that were like huge parts of our team in the fall. They were very close games, and we've always played Harvard close. And obviously we still miss those people, so these games would have been easier with them there. But I think it was more of we actually understand the goal and the job each person has to play for us to win a game, which I was very happy with. I think everyone in BU played great. We've had a new rookie, Artemis, who hadn't played for us before. We had a Brandeis transfer, Hannah, who got her first games with us. And those are big additions that maybe we didn't see as much of in our Harvard games because those were just such competitive games. Of course. And they're still getting used to our flow and our sense of play. See them at nationals. They're both going to be really not Hannah. See Artemis at nationals. Artemis is going to be a big part.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I was a little shocked by what I saw from BU on, what was this, Sunday?
Yep.
Yeah, Sunday. I mean,
our classic MQC Sunday games.
Classic MQC Sunday Bowl. If you told me at regionals that BU would be D1 champs, I don't think I would have believed you.
And that's fair.
Yeah, especially without Molly. I walked up to the field and I didn't see Molly, and I was a little surprised too. And I didn't think BU was gonna win, honestly, and I was a little shocked. I mean, especially with, we talked about it last episode with no Evan, no Will, and then no Molly again. Yeah, I just didn't know if BU could pull it off, but BU, you guys looked pretty focused, pretty.
Yeah, and we came into the games like we've known for a while we were playing Harvard. Like that was the thing. We're playing Harvard. We know how Harvard plays. We've practiced with Harvard a few times. They know how we play really well. Yeah. And those games can always be more of a coin toss because both teams know each other so well. Like any divisional game in any sports league. It was interesting to see Harvard a little bit off. Like we were used to playing Harvard at like about the same energy level, same intensity, both teams. And it felt like Harvard was just like a half step behind on a lot of the plays, slower, which can definitely be attributed to the RPI games. But I think we played very well. Hot take, I think we beat Harvard even if it was on a separate day and they were completely fresh.
Interesting. Well, maybe we'll see it at nationals.
Maybe.
That would be a fun watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very like, well, I wouldn't say shocked.
You can say shocked if you were shocked.
No, because I mean, I know BU is this good, but I just like, without Molly, I'm impressed that you guys pulled it together. And I mean, you looked really crisp. I mean, if it looked like Molly was there, and
Yeah,
like dominating.
I mean, shots were falling, defense was going well. If you dig into the stats, we had like 80 to 90% goal percentage the whole game, which over a season maybe not sustainable, but like we knew what we wanted to win these games, and we really showed out for them, which I'm very happy with.
Yeah. Talk about shots falling. We can insert a Zach's final shot to win the championship right here.
That shot is like one of those plays where like it's like a fake punt in football.
Yeah.
When it works, it's genius. When it doesn't work, it's the stupidest thing ever. Shooting on top hoop on trees with no one off the hoops. But yeah, if it works, it works.
It was golden goal.
Golden goal, yeah.
Yeah, there. I had a golden goal, like game-winning shot my freshman year in nationals against Florida State, and there's nothing like it.
The widely renowned Florida State.
No, trust me, it happens. There's no video of it, but there's one picture. But there's literally nothing like hitting that like game-winning shot when the game is tied. Yeah, so hell yeah for you.
Very good feeling. Very good feeling. Our final segment today, which is kind of a fun one, is we are going to try to predict some of the MQC end of year awards.
Yep.
Obviously, we are associated with MQC. These are not MQC's like
this is not
nominees
official.
or like finalists or anything. This is just our opinions.
We're just spitballing.
Yeah. Okay. Just go down the line.
Let's start with something we were just discussing off camera. That's not an official award, but we wanted to talk about it. Coach of the year. It's not. I mean, it's an award in like every like professional sport, but we don't have it. So we're gonna give it out.
Obviously, everyone's gonna say their own coach because that's the only coach most of us know.
Exactly.
My thought process with it is like, what coach has improved their team the most, or like really like done the most with like maybe the least experience or something like that. So I think big obvious nominee would be Ethan Sturm. Harvard's was pretty young going into this year. They weren't like a world beater last year, and they've just really improved so much. And you got to credit Ethan with that. Of course, he has great assistant coaches. He's got Max and Lulu helping with the beaters, but really a great job there.
Yeah, and I think another like sneaky honorable mention would be Alex Wicken, because I mean Brandeis lost like 10 plus seniors last year. They graduated, and I didn't know what to expect from this Brandeis team. They'd be really young, and they had a really good season, and it showed on the field. And I think that's partly because of Alex Wicken at the helm. Yeah,
absolutely. The person I'm going to nominate, I think this person should be the coach of the year. And I know I just said we're all going to pick our own team's coaches, but I got to go with BU's beater coach Tom DeMuth. BU's beaters, especially after we graduated Cleo. We have Molly, we had Will in the fall, but generally a lot of our beaters didn't have a ton of experience. Like Martin played in the summer, but like there's always limited minutes for MLQ, especially with a young college player. You get good progression, you don't get like that game experience. And I think Tom has done a great job molding our beaters into like good fundamentals, good skills, like things that they're all good at, to being able to like really like keep up on the field and like keep BU in games. And I think especially like you could see it more in these D1 bowl games. Like BU wasn't getting the same like blown up on plays with the Harvard beaters killing everybody that happened earlier in the season, that happened at regionals. I think it's a really testament to like both our beaters, but also Tom's progress with them and his like coaching and all that. Yeah,
from like an outside perspective, playing BU, I might have to agree that it could go to Tom. I mean, I think definitely every single beater on the BU roster made big improvements. They looked very strong, especially against a good beating team like Harvard. So yeah, shout out Tom, I guess, for your Off-Broom awarded Coach of the Year.
And you know what? These are our nominations, but when this video goes out, we're going to post a poll on the MQC Instagram and go vote there. So we'll see what the whole don't vote for your coach. Vote for a different coach. So we can get a little
challenge
yourself. So we can get a little bit of a more unbiased opinion. But we'll see what MQC thinks about it as well.
Where do we want to go?
Let's just run through the positions. Chaser.
All right, yeah. Let's go Chaser of the Year next.
Okay, so for those who don't know, there are a bunch of different awards. So we're going to try to keep this specifically to chasers who play Chaser and won't be in our possible MVP discussion.
Okay.
I think start off the bat, Ryan Leary. I think there's an argument for you to be an MVP. I think with how Emerson has played this year, maybe MVP is also a team stat to an extent. There has to be some extent of team success. But But I do think for being like a sole chaser, other than a couple of times,
I was a keeper for a little bit,
a couple of possessions, but we're gonna say I think you don't fall into the keeper category.
I'm not a keeper.
More purely a chaser. Just your production on the field, the way you play. Obviously, you lose a little bit of the stats because you're on a team that needs you to do so much and needs you to like take a higher volume than maybe other players who can look for better shot selections. But just the way you're on the field, I think.
Thank you.
Definitely a nomination for our Chaser of the Year.
Thank you. I mean, last year I was nominated. I was in the running for MVP, so I don't need another one. Unless obviously I'm biased, I would put myself in the MVP conversation. But yeah, thank you. I definitely am probably one of the top chasers in the league.
I agree.
Not to toot my own horn, but
I agree.
That's the truth, I think.
It's hard to put Matan in any one category because they play so much. I think I'm gonna leave them for keeper. Matan is great.
Definitely Matan made a lot of improvements this year. Yeah, I don't remember how much he played last year. Like probably less minutes because of all those seniors I just talked about at Brandeis, but
absolutely
definitely looked really good. Was on the practice squad for the Titans last year, so I got to practice over the summer, and big improvements this year. He looked like one of the best players in the league, so I think a Chaser of the Year nom is
absolutely
very fitting.
I'd say from RPI, someone who played basically only chaser would be Aiden Whitaker. I mean, RPI is sometimes slept on because they're so far away, and like it feels like they're like outside of that Boston. They're like coming in, but see Aiden Whitaker play, like there's no stopping him unless you have a beater involved. Menace behind the hoops. He's a good driving threat on the wings. I think he had a very, very strong season and a big jump in improvement as well.
Yeah, I'll throw another name out there that's pretty much in the same boat as me. Kate Petty from Middlebury.
Yes, absolutely.
We're pretty much like, I don't know. We both are kind of one of the best options on teams that lost a lot. And so if you put Kate Petty on a winning team, she's an MVP candidate. But she's at Middlebury, so it's tougher to see the results, see the best numbers in the box score. But I think Kate Petty is definitely one of the best chasers in the league.
And I'd want to round it out. I think we're going to leave Matan and keeper. I think that's probably
fair.
I think that's probably closer. We'll circle back around to them. Then another player from Brandeis who had a lot of production this year would be Oren. Oren Weinstein. Oren had a lot on his shoulders this year. He had to like take the place of Eli, Shakti, a lot of these like really great scorers and offensive threats that were on Brandeis. You could see him improving throughout the year. He did have some issues with turnovers, but you could see his goal scoring was top of the league. Great goal scorer. I'm gonna pull up some of the stats from this year. Oren ranked just within the top 10 for goals per game, especially on a team with Matan, who's also a very high scorer. That's very impressive. I think he was very good this year.
Oh yeah.
Should we just each give our prediction?
Yeah. Okay. You go first.
Cool. Okay, and
drum roll.
My prediction for Chaser of the Year, and this is obviously if someone in the Chaser of the Year is in the MVP, that may change things. But I think that our Chaser of the Year is probably going to be Oren. I think with the volume that he had, I think because they have some other players that might get MVP nods over him, he'll probably be well within the contention for Chaser of the Year. I think it goes to him.
I might have to agree with you because I mean I'm not going to give it to myself, but I think same thing as Matan. Oren was on the practice squad for Titans last year and got a lot of good quality play time against the best players in the world. So big improvement from Oren, and it definitely showed up on the stat sheet and like it's very clearly visible on the field.
Absolutely. Okay. Beater of the Year. Beater pair of the year. I have to go like right off the bat. It didn't happen often because Harvard usually has to have a female beater in. And I think you could even put Jason and Alyssa at the spot. But when Jason and David Chen are on the field together, it is brutal for the other team. I think more so than any other pairing in the league, it is like just hell on earth for the team that they're playing.
David's like whenever he pressures up top, it's really like not fair.
It is brutal playing against the two of them.
I can throw another shout out. Molly and Will from EU. I mean, I think are they the reigning? No, they're not the reigning. It's Cleo and Will.
Yeah.
I mean,
Will played great
Yeah.
for while he was here. I got to discount Will because he abandoned us this
Oh.
semester. I can't put someone who didn't play half the year in
Alright.
these talks, but they definitely were great.
Yeah.
Definitely an honorable mention for me.
maybe an honorable mention. I would still have him there because
That's fair. That's definitely fair.
the fall is the main part of the season,
Yeah.
in my opinion, and I mean they dominated the fall.
Yeah, I'm just feeling a little spurned by Will. I'm feeling a little left behind. They're great. Another great beating pair. Gabriel and Ryan Callahan from not RPI, from Brandeis. They played great. They played very strong, both very athletic beaters, both good arms. Gabriel really improved over the course of the season. I think you see it more in the spring, how good they were than the fall. Really, really strong beating pair.
Yeah.
I think really, really strong.
I'll go as another nom because, I mean, UVM tore up D2.
Absolutely.
Max and Abby Rainey, they just dominated. Anytime they're on the field, they have control and they keep it and they don't lose it. And that team just clicks so well. And I think the beaters are the engine of that team.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it shows, and I think they deserve like a nomination.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I personally think that this is going to be a bit of a runaway. Okay. I think the closest is Brandeis beaters, but I think whatever pair that they decide from Harvard is going to win it. Be that David and Jason, Jason and Alyssa, David and Alyssa, Nathan and Lily. Harvard's beaters were just great this year. I think they're probably going to win this award pretty easily.
Just for like a dissenting opinion, since we don't have to like, just to make the show interesting, I'm gonna disagree. I'll put Ryan and Gabe from Brandeis just because I think Ryan's the best beater in the league right now, and they deserve an award.
And you know what? Get in the comments and leave us your opinions on this.
You can roast me or something, whatever. But
all right, okay. Should we move on to keeper?
Keeper of the year. Yeah.
From BU, I'd say our nominee would be Aiden Heyer. He's played great both fall and spring. Played a little bit more in the spring because he's improved a lot, and we've also needed him to step up a little bit more with our losses. But he's big up there. Yeah. He has great hands. He had a strip on Elisa this champs where for such a big guy, he moved real dexterously to like poke the ball away from her. He's played great. I think he definitely is in the conversation for one of the top keepers.
I think Ben Falthrope from RPI deserves a nomination. I mean, if you can call him a keeper, because he played like every position also. Yeah. I genuinely think he played all four. At some point, even maybe this past weekend, he probably had every headband on. And you know, when he's clicking, RPI clicks. Yeah, absolutely. And he's definitely one of the best keepers in the MQC.
And then we already talked about Matan. We'll talk about them a little bit more here. Matan's so tough because they can play any position. I don't think they played much beater this year. I think they've kind of transitioned more into the keeper role, and they've been doing a great job. They're tall, and their arms are longer than their height suggests. It's kind of crazy. A lot of range, great scoring ability, great seeking, which we'll get to. I think we're going to probably rehash some of the players for seeker because it's such a different position. But Matan has been a great both offensively and defensively this year.
Yeah, I think we could also throw Karsten into the mix for keeper of the year. Definitely the leader of that Brown team. And I think he deserves recognition. Probably the top goal scorer. Correct me if I'm
I'm almost certain. Yeah, almost certain. And then I'd probably round out the list with Kevin Yu from Harvard. I don't know why he's not talked about more. It's not the most flashy player, but if you see him at D1 champs, he had 7 goals in the second RPI game. He plays a really locked down keeper. He's one of the toughest ones I go up against on a regular basis. Very, very strong player. A great piece in the Harvard machine. He kind of ball carries a lot. He can play from the wing. He fills in whatever spot they need and actually lets their offense run well. I think he plays great.
All right. Do we want to award it?
Yeah. You go first this time.
I'd give it to Matan.
Matan?
Just because what we talked about. I think one of the best players the past 2 semesters. And I think also just recognition for every position they've played. Yeah, so absolutely. I would give keeper of the year to Matan.
I honestly think I got to go Ben.
Okay.
A few of his things are a little bit iffy. He has a lot of turnovers. His shot percentage for his high volume it's a little scary for a team to be relying on that, but they have to rely on him because he's so good, and the team around him is just tired all the time. He actually is the workhorse of that team. Yeah. He runs the offense. He runs the defense. He creates for himself, which I think is huge. He does a lot of just matching up against the keeper and scoring from there, which I think is a huge, valuable asset for any team to have.
Yeah, I think we need to stop hating on turnovers. Like sometimes they're necessary.
A missed shot is not a turnover.
I'm aware of that.
So turnovers are.
Sometimes you need to throw the ball away.
Sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. But we'll move on.
Right.
Okay, Seeker.
Seeker.
Yeah, this one to me is the most clear option. But we'll go through all the people who you're not thinking of, and then we'll get to the person I think most of you are thinking of.
Yeah, I'll go first. Wilbur McGowan from Emerson had a catch, and I mean, tough shoes to fill because Jonathan Nam has been like our Seeker forever, multiple Seeker of the Year nominations, and had some really good looks over the course of the year. Not always like it doesn't always have control, so it's not always possible to catch, but caught against RPI in our first round robin, I think. I just wanted to shout him out. I think
there are a bunch of really great Seekers in the league, even if we have one person who might be a little bit overshadowing the rest. From BU, Henry Dingus had a great fall. A lot of catches that won us games. He's very strong, very fast. You have Matan, possibly the most catches in the league. Helped a little bit because Brandeis has great beaters and they like to focus the Seeker game a lot. They're in a lot of close games where you can actually afford to, you actually want to focus the Seeker. And then another good player, Toby from Harvard. It's been improving a lot. Very, very good improvement from Toby.
Oh, yeah. I think we're both thinking it, and if you're watching us, you're probably clearly thinking it. We'll probably both give the award to Karsten.
Karsten Isua, Seeker of the Year. Brown speeders are somewhat less experienced. They don't have control a lot. Karsten somehow makes it work and still catches a lot of times, and usually he gets one look and he makes it count.
Exactly. And he's clearly the most talented Seeker in our league. And obviously, I think even though he might not have the number one most catches, I think he deserves this award by far.
The eye test grades out. If you watch him play, you watch him seek, you can see why. We're very much on him being the best Seeker.
Rookie
of the Year,
Let's move on to Rookie of the Year. Hell yeah, a lot of great players.
Always love to see quad ball grow with a bunch of athletic players, a bunch of like really strong players making an impact early on.
And it doesn't always have to be freshmen that are rookies. I mean, you can be a senior and play quad ball for the first time, and you can be Rookie of the Year. I don't know if that's happened, but
shout out to Joy last year. We had our one semester senior spring. He played great, and we loved having him.
That's cool.
Toby from Harvard's great. He's a rookie. He's played great. Good seeking. Another player on Harvard. Bruce is like their whole offense now. Get it to Bruce. Let him run through people. More times than not, he'll be scoring, especially if their beaters are blowing up the beaters, like Harvard is want to do.
We talked a little bit about this pre-show, but I think Unique from Brandeis is a star in the making. I don't know if she's gotten a lot of minutes, but when she's on the field, she proves that she's really good, and I definitely deserves to be nominated.
Adding on to that, Gabriel from Brandeis, great beater. You see him starting now. Big show to go from a first-time player to starting for a very good team.
I agree. MQC.
Very impressive. I don't know how Harvard and RPI do it. Harvard and Brandeis do it. They just have new players. With talent every year.
It's a little frustrating.
Winning franchises stay winning, and part of it is recruiting. They do a great job of recruiting.
I agree. So I definitely think Rookie of the Year isn't just although it is an award for one person. Like what you were saying, I think it's also a franchise's award too.
It's a good reflection on how a team recruits, how they progress their young players.
And I also think it's a good look ahead because if we look backwards, my freshman year, it was Jason Wu that won the Rookie of the Year, and then a year later, Middlebury's winning D2 champs. And last year, I believe it was Ryan Callahan. And this year, Ryan Callahan is one of the best beaters in the league, and Brandeis is right prime for a good run at nationals. So.
And hopefully we keep hitting the nail on the head with these rookies.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, I think my vote has to go for Bruce. I think just level of impact on the field, he is just the most impactful for his team. You see, Harvard was missing this crushing, dominating hoops threat. They did a lot of cutting, and they were great at finishing on the hoops, but they didn't have a driver who was pulling beaters to them and really making the other team scared. And I think that's Bruce.
I think for my pick, I would go with Toby. Just because, I mean, if you're a rookie and you can already put yourself in that best in the at a certain position category, you're definitely one of the best. A few catches over the weekend, some really close looks. I mean, he made whoever was seeking in that BU Harvard game really work.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think I would give it to Toby. Yeah.
Okay, one last stop before MVP.
Yeah.
D2 MVP essentially. D2 Player of the Year is what it's called in MQC, but it's essentially the best player in D2.
Yeah.
I think you're back in it for that. I think Amiri is also
definitely
great. Kate Petty.
Yeah. A bunch of players. I mean, there's only 3 teams, so there's not like too much to pick from. A bunch of players from UVM because they were the best team in D2. But I think unanimously, I'd give it to Jack Fortin.
Jack Fortin has been a standout player for UVM.
Yeah.
Again, I'm singing him praises. He's crazy athletic, a great keeper, good seeker, strong on the hoops.
Oh, yeah.
Strong shooter, strong finisher, just all around a very good player.
I agree.
Possibly the most fun one. Definitely the most contentious. A lot of people in this one. MVP for MQC.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a couple repeats, but I think we tried to keep a lot of the players that we think are going to be solely here.
Okay.
From BU, I'd put both me and Evan in it. I know Evan wasn't here in the spring, but you just see how many goals he scored in the fall, at the efficiency that he scored them. His goal to turnover ratio was one of the best in the, I think possibly best in the league for anyone high volume. Great on the hoops, very athletic, a lot of chaser stops, all around great player. I think I played pretty well as well.
I think so too.
Not as many goals as Evan, but I had some good assist numbers. If you're looking at the stats, some good chaser stops.
I think what we're talking about with Carson with the eye test, that definitely goes along with you. You know, you're not going to lead the league in goals, but I think you're up there with assists, and you definitely pass the eye test. You definitely look like one of the best players in the league.
I'd throw Ryan Callahan back in the conversation. Ryan is a big reason that Brandeis stayed really competitive in the fall, along with Matan and Oren, but I think Ryan was really the engine. Sometimes they do some stuff that maybe loses them a goal here or there, maybe loses them a dodgeball here or there, but look at the overall picture. It's very, very strong.
Bring down that beater target from the face to the rest of the body, because definitely a few head beats. But, I mean, it happens. I'd nominate Karsten too, I think.
Okay, he definitely kept that Brown team in a lot of games, especially with his catches. I said this earlier. I'm a big fan of the MVP is an individual award, but it also reflects the team that's around you. I worry that Brown hasn't had the year to host an MVP, but I think Carson has played fantastic for that.
That's fair. I definitely think a bunch of players in Harvard deserve nominations.
It's so interesting because Harvard, it feels like Harvard has enough winning and talent to have an MVP, but it's hard to pick the person from Harvard who is your MVP.
That's why I said a bunch of people and not a specific name, because I don't know if I could name you like the best player on Harvard. I think they're just a collective unit that clicks really well.
If I had to name a player, I'm gonna name 2, so I'm kind of cheating. But I'm gonna name a chaser and a beater. So I think I'd go Kevin or Bruce.
Okay.
I think Bruce has played great for them, but I think I'm leaning more towards Kevin. Kevin played the full season, was great the whole season.
Yeah.
Bruce has been great, and he was good in the fall, but I think just like he needed that progression to get to like this really high level.
That's fair.
So I think Kevin is probably my chaser side, and then David is the scariest beater, but I honestly think Jason has done more for the team in terms of value. He played chaser when they needed him to. He's been at like all of their games. He's fought through lip injuries and all the sorted regionals. Very, very athletic, very aggressive. He's all over the field at all times. I'd put him in the MVP.
And I might throw Matan back in the mix for MVP.
Absolutely, yes.
Just because when you wear so many different headbands like Matan, when you chase, you beat, you keep, you seek, that's a lot. And then when you do all 4 at such a high level and you make such a big impact to your team that wins a lot of games, I think Matan should definitely be in there. Yeah. My pick is less exciting because I'm just going to pick myself because I always root for myself. Vote Zach for MVP. I might, if I had a vote, I would consider voting for Zach.
Appreciate it.
I might also, it would be a toss-up between Zach and maybe Ryan Callahan, just because I think beater is probably you have to be the most like possible to dominate area of the quad ball game is beating.
There are only 2 on the field for each team at a time versus 4 chasers.
Yeah, and I think when you're the best beater on the team, that means a little bit more than when you're the best chaser on the team. And I just think that is Ryan Callahan. I think their stats and just like again the eye test makes them an MVP. I also do think it could go to Zach.
There's so many deserving players in the league.
Zach deserves it definitely. One of the best player I think on what proved to be the best team. So I guess I'll flip a coin when I have to vote.
Okay. Thank you all for listening to us. And I guess the big takeaways from this is Ryan Callahan sucks, and I always dodge all their beats. We'll see you next time, everybody. Thank you.